Welcome everybody to another Omaha Bar Association Bar Talk podcast. I'm Dave Summers, Executive Director of the Omaha Bar Association, and I am here today with a bunch of people. Usually it's just me with one other person, but we're actually getting together the 2019 Nebraska Mock Trial Championship team from Duchesne Academy, and Judge Martinez and Jerry Laughlin, the coaches of the team. And so I want to thank everybody for taking time to come on today to chat a bit about last year and mock trial in general and what everybody's up to. So Judge, thank you so much. Jerry, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
So I guess first things we should do, go around the room. If everyone can introduce themselves from the team. And if you're still at Duchesne, if you've graduated and you're on to other things, what you're up to. Anyone can start. You're probably in a different order than what I see right now, so anyone can start.
Hi, I'm Dottie Rowland. I'm going to be a senior at Duchesne.
I'm Sophie Geis. I'm also going to be a senior at Duchesne next year.
I'm Sophia Martinez, and I graduated from Duchesne and will be going to Fordham University in New York next year.
I'm Relly Kreis, and I just graduated from Duchesne, and I'll be attending Tulane University this fall.
Very good. Well, thank you all for joining. I've had the privilege of sitting in on a few different mock trial finals, and the one last year was another great one. Now, for those who didn't watch it on Facebook Live, who don't know what happened, did anybody want to give us a sketch of how it went down, how you got to the finals, and what happened in the finals? Judge, maybe you want to give us that? Or Jerry?
Yes, well, first of all, of course, we went undefeated during the regular season and were picked to go to the state tournament. And of course, the team that we were most afraid of was Prep, because they had won the year before and they had finished third nationally the year before. So although we hoped to meet them, we didn't want to meet them until the finals. And luckily for us, we did meet them in the finals. And it was, of course, a very difficult match. And when it was over and the judges were out counting their ballots and we were waiting, Stefanie and I both said that it's probably too close to call. But then when the judges came back, they said that we were the winners. And so we were very, very happy and elated.
Absolutely. And that was, when was that last year? What month was that in?
It was December.
Okay. And so generally speaking, it would be December for state, and then 2-3 months until nationals. Is it a March nationals usually?
Yep, in April it usually is.
April. So
Yes.
So now there wasn't a national.
The nationals usually are in May.
May.
Yeah, the case usually drops in April. And then we have like a month to prepare for nationals, but we didn't get that this year, unfortunately, due to COVID-19.
So I guess the real question right now is, what happens? Do you get invited to next year's nationals and sort of get a second bite at the apple, or Zoom, or what's going to happen?
No, it was canceled completely, and we will not get to go back. Next year's winners will replace us, and we've lost out on the nationals.
Well, let's just say you beat the number 3 team in the country. So basically, just put a third place in the country at least, right?
At least, yes.
I'd love to ask what got the students into mock trial, and I guess we'll start with you, Dottie, if you want to start and say how you got into mock trial.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad, he was a lawyer, but that wasn't his first profession. It came later in life. So I very much remember him being in law school and him having moot court competitions. And so that was a really um, fun way for me to go and experience the world of mock trial. And so when I found out I could do that in high school, I jumped at the chance, and it was just a really great way to meet people and to learn new things.
I do think also my wife, who's an attorney, who was in Larry's class, I think she went against him actually, one of those.
Yep, probably.
Raleigh, Sophia, what got you into mock trial?
When I was a freshman, I believe that was possibly just the year after Duchesne had like won nationals, or maybe they were runner up. But I came into Duchesne knowing that the Duchesne mock trial program was really strong and just an excellent way to explore what law looks like. I probably think my first year I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I became a witness, and I was like so into it. I was really inspired by all the seniors at Duchesne because they were really leaders of the program, and they modeled what it was like to like act with dignity and like just be on top of your game, and the opportunity to like get involved in a competition that is like it engages a lot of like your intellect, but you also have to be on your toes, and it was just so exciting for me, and I've loved my time with Duchesne mock trial.
So you're saying that you are a witness, that's your role in the mock trial?
Yeah, I've been a witness all 4 years.
Okay, and so for those who don't know, what's the role of a witness in the mock trial? Because kind of makes sense when you think of the attorney roles, but the witness role, what's that like?
On a basic level, my job is to just get up on the stand and testify according to the character that's been created in the case file that we're given. Basically, there's just a witness statement in the case file, and then I build a direct examination with my lawyer. So my lawyer, who this year was Dottie, got to ask me my questions, and then I would have a mostly prepared response to them based off of the facts of the case. But then on cross-examination, I have to be prepared for any questions that might try and poke holes in my character or in the case of my team, and be able to respond to them in a way that's smart but not untruthful.
That sounds like a difficult task sometimes to sort of create that response that maybe isn't written down, right? You're sort of thinking on the fly, and like what would the character do?
Yeah, I've had a little bit of involvement in Duchenne's theater program, and one time I think a friend from that program came and watched one of our trials, and they were like, "Wait, so it's acting and improv and law at the same time?" And they were just a little surprised by that.
That's great. That's great. Sophia, what got you into mock trial?
Well, I started mock trial as a freshman at Duchesne, and I came in, I knew I wanted to get involved in Duchesne, the community somehow, but I'm not athletic, I don't do sports, but I like to act, I like quick thinking, so mock trial just made sense for me, and I decided to do it and loved it right out of the gates.
That's great.
So before I got to high school, my mom had put my sister and I in several mock trial camps just during middle school. And so that's kind of where my sister and I had decided that this is something that we also wanted to do in high school. And my sister's a year older than me, so she had already done it for a year and she really liked it. And my mom was her coach. And so then when I got to Duchesne freshman year, it was something that I was really interested in doing. And I ended up really enjoying it. And obviously I ended up doing it for my next 4 years. And I was a lawyer for all 4 of those years. And it's also a way that I have met several of my friends. In fact, one of my best friends that I had throughout my 4 years of high school, I had actually met my freshman year because of mock trial. So it's been really beneficial.
Absolutely. I mean, to do something for 4 years together has to create an incredible bond. And it's always great to be the younger child, isn't it? I mean, youngest of 2, I appreciate somebody else leading the way there, and me following up and not making the same mistakes as them. So, yeah.
Sure.
So Jerry, Judge, you have both been coaching for a while. Jerry, you've been a free agent. You were with Prep, right? And you've made the move over to Duchesne. Can you guys talk a bit about your roles and your work?
Well, actually, I've never been a coach at Prep, except I assisted my son who coaches Prep during the Nationals. But I've always been at Duchesne, although before I came to Duchesne, I was also a mock trial coach for Burke High. So I've been doing this for many years, and I've obviously enjoyed it, and I enjoy so much working with the girls at Duchesne, because they all work hard and are enthusiastic, and that's what's so enjoyable.
And I started about 5 years ago. I've been with Jerry now for the past 2 years, and it's been just an honor and a pleasure to work with him. He's taught me so much, and I really couldn't do what I do without him. But he and I work really well together, and I think we both love working with these girls. We've also developed a bond with them. It's wonderful to see them grow and to learn. And when you see in their eyes that they've got that, in many of the trials, they had that gotcha moment where they were able to catch a witness, or the witness was able to trick up another attorney that was trying to catch them in maybe an invention of fact. It was exhilarating to watch them and all of their progress.
And, compared to trials that you're having in front of you, Judge, from my experience, it seems like they're more prepared. It's an amazing level of preparedness that I don't necessarily see attorneys always doing. And it's always fascinating to watch the judges say how much better the attorneys can be in the mock trial than what they maybe see in the real world. And it's quite fascinating to know that there's that much talent in high school. And it's always good to see that the future is so bright with these students, right?
It is, yeah, and not just for our team. We see that, all of the people that we've competed against, some of those attorneys are just, I would agree with any of the other judges who've made those comments. They're more prepared than many attorneys we sometimes see appear in court for actual cases. So it's very inspiring. They inspire me every time that I work with them to be a better judge, to be a better teacher and mentor. And that's what I hope they're learning through this process as well.
Absolutely. So does anybody want to go into law? We had a potential attorney no longer wanting to be an attorney in Raleigh. Is the law in the future for any of you?
Yes, definitely a strong possibility. I know it's something I'm good at. It's something I thoroughly enjoy and could see myself doing in my future. If I find something else that I'm more passionate about and better in, I'm not opposed to it, but just going into the field of law is something I feel very comfortable and confident in.
If there's no right answer, I have to say that. I'm not trying to push anybody here. I was just curious.
Law school is a serious possibility for me after undergrad. I don't know quite where my career goals are, but it's definitely interesting to me, and I know I could do a lot with a law degree. So it's something I'm definitely considering.
I would also say the same thing. I don't know 100% what I would like to do yet, but going to law school is something that is a strong possibility and something that I'm really looking at, because I think that being a lawyer, that you can have a lot of impact on a lot of people and you can do a lot of good with the law. And so I think that that's something that I would love to look into doing.
I actually don't really see myself doing law in the future, but I think the things I've learned in mock trial definitely will help me in whatever career field I may end up going into, like quick thinking, public speaking, all of that stuff.
Absolutely. I have to say, I trip over my words every day as I am right now, and it's been one of those things that watching year in, year out the level at the state tournament, it is phenomenal. the objections and the citation of the objection, wow, I'm still trying to figure out how to do objections right. And I've been out for 10 years, so learning from you all. So, okay, let's talk about this. So now we don't know what this year looks like. So it's about getting ready for next year, or just staying fresh for next year. Is there anything going on? Are you having any sort of Zoom calls or anything like that to sort of, keep things going right now? Or is it just, we'll reconvene, Judge, when fall comes and get ready for a potential December one? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say because usually we start with tryouts for the team in August when the school goes back to session. And then shortly after tryouts, or right about the same time, the problem comes out. So we really are waiting for the Bar Foundation to release that problem. And then we just kind of jump in and start going. But there's nothing to do right now to practice because we don't have the material. So we're kind of giving the kids a break, especially with all the chaos that's happened with COVID-19 and the quarantine and isolation they've had to do.
So is there talk about potentially doing it over Zoom? Is that an option?
That's the way that I understand the Bar Foundation's notices that they've been providing. They have several plans, and one of them would be an online competition. So I know that Creighton Prep was involved this summer with a national online mock trial championship. And so it seems like it's possible, but I don't know how specifically the Bar Foundation would make that happen.
I guess if we're, this is what's happening in real life too, right? Some of the judges are doing their hearings remotely. Some of them are still doing them in person, and it depends on the court. But I guess attorneys right now are arguing their case via Zoom. My wife did that the other week. She also went in the other week for a hearing or for a trial in person. So, but there's something lost, I guess, from this. And this is great to talk with you all, but in person, timing, and certainly for witnesses and things like that, there's just something to that that's much more fulfilling, much more complete than this Zoom version, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think the girls miss that a lot. And that was part of the shame of the end of the year. We weren't able to celebrate with them, even the accomplishment of making it to the national competition. We had to wait quite some time and get some permission from the school to even meet just individually with social distancing and mask requirements. So it was very disappointing for them to have to leave school. Some of the graduates have to end their year on that note.
Where was it going to be? Where was the national competition going to be this year? This year.
Yeah, it was in Indiana. Let's see if I can't.
It was Evansville, Indiana.
Evansville, yes.
So not maybe the most interesting place for the girls to be. Okay, all right.
They change the site every year, but the local folks who host it, of course, are very enthusiastic and dedicated. And so even though Evansville is one of the smaller cities, I'm certain that they would have put on a good show. Actually, Omaha did host it, I'm going to say 12, 13 years ago or so. And so it's an exciting time, and it's a shame that the girls had to miss it.
What is without giving away the secret sauce, because Duchesne's a powerhouse program and we don't want a lot of drafting off of the success, but how much time goes into preparing for this? There's got to be so much, when you think of sports, okay, you do this, and this to get ready. How do you get ready for this level of competition?
We basically stay after school every day of the week, or we go meet Judge in her courtroom and we work after school for multiple hours. And it kind of ramps up as we get into the season, and we've started drafting things, and we just need to keep running a whole case. And all of the like time commitment, it's not mandated. It comes from us. I remember having a conversation with one of our teammates about like, okay, so we're gonna do like 12 hours this week and plus another 8 hours on the weekend. And she's like, there have to be boundaries. And I'm like, there are no boundaries. This is mock trial.
Well, but that's the secret to success, is putting in the time, right?
It's definitely a sacrifice, but we already mentioned the bond that we had as a team. It definitely came from all of those hours, just spending time together, working together, countless lunches and dinners, hanging out together. It really makes you feel like by the end, it was all worth it.
So let me get this right. So when does the question or the package come out, and then when is the competition? How much time do you have to prepare once you have the information?
So it usually comes out in August, I believe.
Yeah. The
Right.
case usually drops in like mid to early August, and then we start doing district competitions in October, depending on when people's schedules are available. And then that wraps up right around Thanksgiving. And then the state competition is usually like first or second week in December.
Got it. Okay. And then the national, it's a shorter period of time from when you have the information.
It's about half the time to prepare for nationals.
Without like any other like competitions in the middle, like you'll be fresh at nationals. I'm sad we didn't have the competition to like, we didn't have the opportunity to meet that challenge this year.
Yeah, it boggles my mind. I guess I think back to high school and college, and I thought I was committed to things that I did, but wow. Anyone who sees that on the resume, on the CV that you've completed this, they should really understand the level of commitment that you've done, because if you can do that for this, you can do anything. Absolutely. So we don't know where things are right now, and there's this A, B, and C. Are you getting anything for being the state champions? You have the like trophy. I know that, but you haven't even had like the award ceremony or the end of the year accolades for. Did you have like a virtual graduation ceremony where they at least gave some accolades or something like that?
We didn't have we didn't have a virtual like graduation ceremony where they did something like that, but after we got back from state mock trial, we our principal had brought our whole team up and had announced in front of the school that we did win state and that we would be advancing to nationals. And so we were recognized through our school, but we didn't get there was supposed to be a banquet specifically for mock trial where we would have got even more recognition from that, but that because of COVID didn't get to happen, but we still did get some sort of recognition through the school.
Well, it's a tremendous honor. I have to say, I'm so thankful that you all care so much and put so much time into it. And not only, as it's been shown, statewide, but national level, the teams from Nebraska are always at the top in nationals. They're always competing for those top spots. And that says something about the coaches who have done this for so long. And also, Judge Strom, who championed this for a long period of time, State Bar Foundation, Doris, she does a great job on this. I got to be pretty proud about Nebraska, being the powerhouse that it is in mock trial. It's not as well known in the community as it should be. So I'm glad that we could have this discussion today. Is there anything that you want known about the team, about the experience? I think I've run through most of my questions, but I probably have missed something. Is there anything that you want to say about it, Judge Coach Laughlin or any of the girls?
I'd like to say this. The Duchesne program, of course, has a history of being very good and capable. And these girls have been in that program and have tried to carry on that tradition. This year, when we made the state tournament, Stefanie, she's a great psychologist as well as being a great judge. Instead of handing out a practice schedule, she asked the girls to fill out a practice schedule. And the girls filled out a practice schedule that was way heavier on practices than either Stefanie or I would have done on our own. And it was heavy on hard practices because they wanted to do well and carry on the tradition of Duchesne. And it was that hard work that ultimately resulted in their winning the championship.
Just taking that, accolades and turning it over to the girls, Coach is just there along for the ride, huh? Okay.
No, they're not. Oh my gosh, that's not the case. For every hour we're there, they're like, they have to be on and active with us for like twice as much as any of us individually have to put in, because while like they have to be tuned into what's happening while they're running like a witness statement or a director across. But the rest of us who aren't on, we might be helping in like a supporting role, but it's not our job to constantly be critiquing and constantly improving. Like, we're nothing without our coaches. We have the best coaches in Nebraska mock trial, probably in national mock trial competition. And I can't go out without saying that. That's the case.
That's very sweet, Raleigh. Thank you.
Very sweet.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on today. I'm going to link to all the information on mock trial, and I think I can find maybe the link to last year's championship, and we can get some more views on that. Thank you so much for all you're doing, making the profession look good. Although you're not part of the profession yet, you're making us look good as attorneys. It's inspiring for people that watch, the judge. It's a big thing for us attorneys to watch you all perform at such a high level. So thank you. And obviously you as judges, or sorry, Judge and Jerry as coaches, and Jerry, your son as a coach, and Pat Cooper, my past president, it's a labor of love. And so thank you for all the time that you spend.
Honor and a privilege to work with these girls, really, and with the mock trial program. It's a fantastic program, and I guess that's what I would encourage anybody who has children that are in high school or who have the time to volunteer. They could always use coaches to give back to the community and give back to these students. These students, it will not be a waste of your time. You'll only benefit from the experience, and so will the kids.
Absolutely. Oh, one final question. Is it a lettering activity at Duchesne mock trial? No? No. Oh, sounds like a petition needs to be brought forward for that. Anyway,
Dottie and Sophie have to get on that next year.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Stay safe, be well. Good luck in college for those going off to college, and have a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.